Welcome to the Daily Beast podcast. I'm Joanna Coles. I'm the Chief Content Officer of the Daily Beast.
And I'm Samantha B., Chief Content Officer of International Hot Mics with journalists talking smack about Donald Trump.
What are you talking about?
Oh, did you not hear it? There was a hot mic incident. They were showing the inauguration stuff in Germany, and the translator who was translating all of their bullshit got caught on a hot mic saying in German, "How long are we going to stick with this shit?" It's my favorite.
There is nothing better than a hot mic. Can you say that in German?
Okay, I'm going to attempt it. No, I'll do it at the end. That'll be the treat. I'll do it at the end.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so every week, this is the podcast from the Daily Beast where we dish about the people and the stories that everybody's talking about. Like this week, we're diving into Inauguration weekend, a soggy sequin fest that involved me popping my rain poncho, Sherry. I actually put on one of those plastic things. It was a desperate moment.
Why did you have a plastic rain poncho in your purse? Who slipped that into your purse?
Because it was absolutely pouring with sort of sleety rain. You couldn't get an Uber because the entire city was closed down. There were sort of metal fences everywhere.
Okay.
If you ordered an Uber, you had to walk for, first of all, it was going to take 25 minutes to come. Then it was going to take you 25 minutes to get there.
Okay.
And I was coming out of one of the endless parties, which is the sort of scene there. And Kellyanne Conway was in front of me. And she also was dealing with the same issues.
Okay.
So she took a pedal cab, which she took the last pedal cab in Nam, is how I thought of it. And I put on my rain poncho. There were no umbrellas to be found.
Wow.
And I trudged 25 minutes in my little suede boots through the snow to get from the W to the Jefferson Hotel.
Kellyanne Conway took the last cab. She snatched it.
She
From
was
you.
in front of me. To be fair, she was in front of me.
Was she wearing a little plastic rain poncho
She
with
was-
her Paddington Bear outfit
She
on?
was not, but she was better prepared than I was. She obviously has much more familiarity with the DC weather.
Okay.
But if you caught Monday's Creep Out Award show, and much like the Golden Globes, the Brutalist also won, you already know what's coming. A takedown of Ivanka's United Emirates stewardess outfit.
We call them flight attendants now, Joanna.
I wanted to say, well, I was sort of shouting, chicken or fish, or do you want the vegan option? In which case you should have ordered it last week with your pre-order.
I have a controversial opinion. I kind of liked that little dribbly hat. I thought it
You
was
did?
funny. It was like a little kind of comma dribbling off the side of her. I thought it was cute.
I thought the outfit would have been great without the sort of blanket thing across. I thought there was too much fabric. I do think Ivanka dresses well, and I thought it was just didn't work. And there were so many memes on social media about her looking like the Handmaid's Tale character from the Handmaid's
Oh,
Tale.
that's so true. Oh, I never saw those.
It's because peacock green is in, as I am just going to demonstrate
this.
by my scarf.
Teal is everywhere.
Teal is in, peacock green is in. We're also going to be looking at a debrief of Trump's first executive actions and a preview of what's to come in this so-called fermented revolution. Sam couldn't bear to watch any of it. I couldn't bear to look away. I wanted to see everything.
I was worried about you in D.C. this weekend. Did you go snowblind from all of that white flesh with spaghetti straps pressing in?
So here's the problem. I took the weather advisory very seriously. I went down dressed as Nanook of the North. And when I got there, people were bare-legged, a bit like John Fetterman. I'm actually not talking about John Fetterman. Then we can talk about his outfit later. But a lot of spaghetti straps, a lot of, very high sandals. Lauren Sanchez even forgot to put a shirt on.
She really did.
I am very
She really
concerned
did.
about her that she may have a chesty cold this morning.
She may have that heavy feeling in between your two boobs where you're just like, here comes the cough. And it's going to be a deep one.
Shout out to Mark Zuckerberg for taking a look and then grinning and then it being caught on camera. The best meme, sans doute, of the entire day.
Just the stage, just a little paper doll's house of wealthy people. Wonderful.
I did have one thought about Melania's dress, the Hervé Pierre dress that she had for the inauguration ball.
Okay, the black and white, yes.
Yeah, the white sort of tube dress with the sort of black I thought it looked like she was sending another signal that actually she was redacting her body parts to Trump. So she's got like a huge zigzag across all the bits that I'm sure Trump would want to grab. And she was sort of redacting herself.
Oh, wow. Wow. That is deep. That's actually deep.
I thought that was the signal. I didn't think she was signaling the Hamburglar.
She was
with the hat on.
The hat, I just thought it was a strategic move to keep him away from her face. All they could do was air kiss. I wondered if the brim had razor blades on it.
Curly razor blades. I loved Jimmy Kimmel's comment that it was it Jimmy Kimmel or was it Jimmy Fallon? They're all called Jimmy. That it was her own border wall.
I like that. Yeah. It was very spy versus spy, and I liked it. Redacting her body parts that he's not allowed to. I thought it was just more like a redacted document, but I like your deeper level of thinking.
I think she's redacting her body, and it might be subversive or it might be unconscious. And I did think, I know we're going to disagree about this, and I do understand what Isaac Mizrahi was saying a couple of weeks ago about Melania looking like she's been dressed and that she can't, we only see her standing up or sitting down. We don't see her living in these clothes. I did think she looked really elegant. And I think the hat with the brim was to protect her in the way that I think Anna Wintour uses those big bug glasses that she wears, because people are really staring at them a lot and really staring at Melania. And I think the hat actually gives her protection.
Oh, great. Well, if she had less repellent ideas and wasn't married to one of the worst people in the world, she perhaps wouldn't need protection.
But I sort of think with Melania, be careful what you wish for. She must have dreamed of being married to Donald Trump. What she didn't dream of was being First Lady, and she so obviously feels uncomfortable in the role.
I don't pity her. I don't pity her at all. I read the book.
You did read the book, which she didn't even do. She wrote the book.
Did not do. That entire book was a redacted document. So I don't hold too much sympathy in my heart.
I did like the bit where Donald Trump talked about how she complains about those heels, because she was in, I think, the 120 millimeter Manolos, which are pretty intense.
Did you enjoy watching Donald Trump dance with that soldier?
Oh, that poor soldier. She looked so nervous. She looked like she might be thrown in jail if she didn't look like she was really getting into it. And he was sort of clinging on to her, whereas Melania looked like she was having a great time dancing with the soldier who had rhythm, unlike her husband. He should not be allowed out loose on a dance floor, Donald Trump.
Oh, but I did enjoy watching him dance around with a sword, cutting that extremely gaudy cake. Oh my God, that cake. Now, I love a sheet cake, but that was too much for me.
That was a lot of cake. That was a lot of cake. So how are you on your mental health?
Oh, fine. Yes, fine.
Good.
I'm being very vigilant about not losing my ass every time something crazy happens. I'm actually being calm and measured about it, and I'm caring about the things that I care about, and that's all anyone can really do.
All right, so I think I learned something very interesting about you this week, which is you are not a cleanse person.
I am not a cleanse person, and I think that I was pretty upfront about that, but I broke the cleanse within, I don't know, half a day. I had sausages for dinner.
I know.
You are not supposed to eat sausages.
My favorite text of the week was you saying you discovered you were on a sausage cleanse. We both tried so hard. We tried very hard to do the chroma cleanse.
Yes.
And I failed at the inauguration. The truth is you can't just drink things and eat porridge when you are covering an inauguration. You need sustenance. You need 100%. Protein.
And I would say that
in the form of meat.
Individually, I did like all the packets. I actually thought they were all delicious and quite good.
I love the soups.
Couldn't take them sequentially over the course of 3 days. It's impossible. It's more like a side dish to the meal that I'm eating.
Yeah, I wanted to be the kind of person that can travel with packets of food in my bag.
Did
just
you travel?
add water. I took them with me, and then the minute I arrived in DC, I was hungry, and part of me thought, oh good, I can have the super porridge that I've brought with me, which I quite like, actually. But then I saw a Shake Shack and I was like, oh, no, I think I want a Shake Shack.
I have to. You need fortification for things like this. You need fortification.
And it was too cold for matcha.
It's too cold for broth. You went to D.C. Tell me which parties you went to. Tell me why you were there. I mean, I didn't even watch it on TV. I just watched clips. I couldn't bear it. So what made you go?
Well, of course I want to go. It's a new president coming in. I'm running a journalistic organization. We're an independent media organization. I want to be there and understand it.
Yes.
And I was surprised there weren't more crowds there. I know there was a line to get inside the rally, but I had been to the second inauguration for Barack Obama, and the place was teeming.
Yes.
And the thing that made it challenging was just the logistics, because it felt like the whole city was closed down. So there were metal fences to sort of harness the crowds, which never showed because the whole thing was indoors, because probably the crowds wouldn't have shown, but it was definitely cold. It was terrible weather. You couldn't get an Uber, as I mentioned, hence my rain poncho. And it felt like a whole trudge. But there was a lot of energy at the parties, the opening of the Ned, a new club. In fact, we have just started at the Daily Beast a new gossip column that's going to be based out of DC called The Swamp.
I love it.
So, we kicked off this Monday's edition of The Swamp at the Ned, which is a British club. It's part owned by the people that own Soho House. Ron Burkle is one of the owners. And their pride of place was Leon Black, Jeffrey Epstein's great friend, surrounded by a group of somewhat adoring looking young men doing bumps of caviar.
Fantastic.
They were
all, boy.
So, but there was also Muriel Bowser, the mayor of DC there, Michael Milken, who owns the building it's in, I think, or he owns the building next door.
Okay.
It was a very interesting cross-section of DC, lots of journalists, people from the Times there, people from the Wall Street Journal, all sorts of people. Incredible views of the White House. It's the most extraordinary club, actually. It's based on an old English gentleman's club, and it's just really beautifully done. Fantastic views of the White House. And then there was a building adjacent. I went out on the terrace with a huge sign saying, "Welcome back, Mr. President."
Oh, so glorious.
And it was also, there was a sense of, I don't like all this kind of hyperbole. I think it's sort of silly and it reduces Trump to something he's not. But there were lots of glasses of champagne, almost like champagne fountains, and a lot of people going around saying this feels like Germany in sort of the late 1930s.
Oh, so just a really healthy vibe. So just a really fun party vibe.
Well, two people said to me, "Are you drinking with the Nazis or are you a Nazi hunter?" Jesus. And I was like, "Oh, I'm not. I'm just here for the free champagne."
What a combo party! That's a real mixed crowd. But I will say this: it doesn't sound too cool. Was it cool?
Well, the space itself is gorgeous. Actually, it really is quite cool, and I can see a lot of people joining it because there aren't that many clubs in DC. I think the new administration is not about cool. It's about
it's not.
Right. I mean, everybody was going around saying it's just pay to play. It's pay to play.
Pay to play.
And
champagne fountain.
Yep. And of course, lots of spottings of RFK Jr., who've been working out at the Lifetime Gym in Arlington.
With a top or
with a top?
A top?
No, inquiring. The first thing I asked, was he dressed? He had his top on and he wasn't wearing jeans.
Was he wearing bottoms?
I assumed he was wearing bottoms because he might have been arrested. Never assume.
Never
assume with RFK. Very good point. I'm trying to think of other sightings I had. There were so many.
You went to the X party.
I went to the X party where everybody was hoping Elon would turn up. He didn't turn up. His brother was there, Kimball. Tall, good looking, big Stetson hat. There was a country band, Dierks Bentley playing Country Roads, Take Me Home, which I like that song. I liked it when John Denver did it. So Dierks was really taking the lead there. A lot of people. You know who I was struck by was Liz Truss, the British Prime Minister who lasted 44 days, as you remember.
Yes.
Which was shorter than the head of lettuce. It was really a competition between the head of lettuce and Liz Truss. And I said, "What are you doing here?" And she sort of eyed me and she said, in a very deep voice, she said, I'm here to learn how to create revolution back home. And I said, do we need a revolution in Britain? And she went, oh, we do. But she had her chance, and it only lasted 44 days. So she wandered off. I then had a chat with Steve Hilton, who, as you know, is running for governor of California.
Yes.
He's going to run as a Republican.
Okay. What are his chances? I mean...
Well, there's a moment, right? There's a moment. He has a
moment.
book coming out in March called Caliphalia.
Oh, dear.
Fantastic title, I thought. Fantastically good title for where we are right now. As we know, there's a attempted recall of both Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass, the mayor of LA and the governor, respectively. And Steve he seemed very bright-eyed about his chances.
Oh, really?
Who knows? Who knows?
Were there people at the party? Because I've been to parties in the past that definitely made me want to leave as soon as I walked in the door. Like basically, if I would go to a party and, there are New York media world parties, any party that if I would go in and see Ann Coulter, I was like, I got to get out of here right now. Like I would turn and walk out. Did you have anyone?
I am one of those embarrassing people that finds almost every party energizing. I was pretty tired by the time I got in there because I'd already done a series of brunches. Plus the weather really was shocking. And I'd had an interesting conversation with Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary and Frank McCourt about their attempts to buy TikTok.
Right.
They put this deal together. They're pricing it at $20 billion. It's on the table. It's with ByteDance's bankers. They don't know what's going to happen. But I'd spent the afternoon talking to them about it. And so I was tired, but I just walk into a room of people and I am energized. Yeah, it's embarrassing. It is so embarrassing.
No, it's not embarrassing.
It's a little embarrassing.
It's interesting. This is why you do what you do and why I flee from parties.
Well, it's a little, I find it embarrassing.
Okay.
I'm one of those people that I'm embarrassed for myself when I get to a party.
Don't be embarrassed. Only be embarrassed if you were caught on camera dancing to Dierks Bentley.
Yeah, I wasn't caught on camera. I might have been swaying.
You were swaying.
I might have been swaying, actually, because I like a bit of country music.
Swaying. Okay. And was there a cheese mountain? There was champagne. There was caviar.
There were...
Oh, that was at the Ned. What did they serve?
There was a lot of champagne, a lot of cocktails. At the Ned, they had those round champagne glasses, that were based on the bosom of
like
Marie
coupe?
Antoinette?
Like a coupe?
Yeah, a coupe.
Okay.
Or no, it was Josephine, right? It was Josephine. That's where those glasses came from.
Okay.
They're supposed to be the size of Josephine's breasts.
They're now called a Lauren Sanchez.
Those would be goblets.
Those are goblets.
Would be goblets.
That's a chalice from the Lord God himself.
That is, it is indeed. Yeah, and I couldn't help thinking, we both had this thought of our friend Cecile Richards.
We did. I'm so saddened. You were good friends. You must have been very stricken.
I was very sad. There was an irony to her dying before Trump got sworn in that very morning.
That very morning.
As someone who spent her life working for women's reproductive rights in an incredibly formative way and who was absolutely fighting and working till her very last breath.
I just have found Cecile Richards to be a total inspiration. And I have met her many times and just found her to be really one in a million, one in a billion. Just a very special person, and I'm saddened for you, and I'm saddened for her family, and for this world. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many young women quite understand what they owe to Cecile and how awful it's been for her. The overturning of Roe versus Wade was a terrible blow, and yet throughout it all, she, kept fighting, believed very strongly in what she was fighting for. I remember her telling me about a conversation that she had with Ivanka and Jared in the run-up to Trump being elected first time round, or perhaps it was just after, and they'd said to her, if you can just drop the abortion stuff, we can work with you. You just have to drop the abortion stuff, which was only 3% of what Planned Parenthood does. And she just said, of course I can't. Of course I can't. This is the single most important economic decision a woman will make is when she has a baby, and she has to have the choice. And she pointed out which I always try and remind people that actually the people that have abortions largely are mothers. They are already mothers who've got children who know how difficult it is.
Yep. It's often a decision that is rooted in the economic conditions of your family.
Yeah.
What you want to do with your life, how you want to see the rest of your life. Unfurl. It's just vital. And she was just an incredible person. And Planned Parenthood is going to be under siege.
Yeah, it is going to be under siege. And I also want to point out she was incredibly beautiful. And I remember we went camping, a small group of women friends, was a sort of little rump of us, and we would go camping, or glamping as it's called, on Governor's Island.
Oh.
And even in the morning when she got up, she looked spectacular. She didn't need to do anything. She had this gorgeous skin, lovely hair, tall, and just a really gorgeous person inside out.
What a loss. What a loss. Wow. As we're sitting here talking, it's Wednesday morning. The whole world could look different.
The whole world could look different. And of course, Pete Hegseth's former sister-in-law has just come out with an affidavit saying that he frightened his second wife, scared her so much that she had a code word.
A code word.
And that he was abusing alcohol and threatening violence.
Yes, that she had to hide in a closet and had a safe word in case he was coming after her, so that people would know to come and get her. Wow, what a quality choice.
Excited for him to have his finger on the button.
Yeah, I'm excited for us all.
It's just what it is, right?
It's just what it is.
It's just what it is. We're going to take a quick break before we talk to our beast of the week, the king of Pod Save America, John Lovett.